The Crafty Boys, where a bunch of dudes get around to drinking beer and talking about stuff. And congratulations, you found us. I certainly hope that you are ready to experience the full power of this armed and stuff. Hi, guys. How's it going?
Yeah.
I'm great.
Wow.
I can't wait.
Dave is not here today because Dave's not here, and because he
He's battling. I think he's like battling some sort of an alien infestation.
That's what I understand.
Like,
He
that's
was
happening in that
savagely
neck of the
attacked,
woods.
and he's had to defend himself. So you know, I think that is perfectly acceptable. And
We
I,
wish him luck.
for one, either congratulate our new overlords or say, Dave, thanks for your service, protecting the world, keeping us from ourselves. Oh crap! I don't even have the beer. I gotta go get the beer.
We will always remember Dave.
Yeah.
So
His
he forgets to go get the. You remembered to go get the beer before we went live, but Shay didn't.
Yeah. Well, you would think that would have prompted him, wouldn't you?
You would think.
Oh look, I've got the
Right?
beer. I don't know what you're talking about. There is no buffoonery going on here.
All right, Shane.
All right, tonight's
take it
beer
home.
is from Russell Brewing. It's called the Blueberry Cherry Lime Berliner. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right. You know, because the word blueberry is so difficult.
I'm a little bit apprehensive about this beer.
Well, this beer is called light beer. That's what they say. Comes in at
It's a 3.8.
can't see, the text is so weird. Light beer at 5.6% alcohol. Am I reading that right?
No, it's 3.8%.
Yeah, see, there's a 3. There you go. But anyway, so according to this, this is a beer that
is pretty standard for what you get on tap, in pubs in England, right? So
a Berliner.
Right. I don't know in Berlin they probably drink lager, and it's probably not 3.8%. So there you go. Yeah, good point. Let's see how it tastes.
Well, actually, let me look this up because this is gonna bug me if I don't. Berliner beer. So cloudy sour beer, around 5%. It's a regional variation of the wheat beer style from northern Germany dating back to the 16th century. It can be made from a combination of malted barley wheat with a stipulation that malts are kilned really, at a very low temperature or even air dried to minimize color formation. The fermentation takes place with a mixture of yeast, lactic acid, bacteria, a prerequisite that creates the lactic acid taste, distinguishing feature of the Berliner Weiss. I'll go with Weiss. By the late 19th century, Berliner Weiss.
V's are W's and W's are V's, so it'd be Weiss. So it'd be Weiss.
It is Weiss. Okay.
Weiss?
Was the most popular alcoholic drink in Berlin, with up to 50 breweries producing it. By the late 20th century, there were only 2 breweries left in Berlin making this style of beer. Weird. Often served in a bowl-shaped glass with flavored syrups, such as raspberry. This beer is also mixed with other drinks, such as a pale lager, in order to balance the sourness. Well, that's interesting. So basically, this beer sounds like it's something that they have created over the centuries have decided now.
A basic question, because I'm confused about something. Is this a top fermented or a bottom fermented beer?
It did not say in the style. I would say this is probably,
because that would class it. One would class it closer to a lager. One would class it closer to an ale.
This is definitely not. This is more of an ale than a lager
style of beer.
So this smells amazing. You can smell the smelliness. The lactic acid, you can smell the sourness. Has a real solid hint. I think this is actually probably the cherry that's overpowering everything else. But that's just me. Hey, Peanut Gallery. Here you go.
Yeah, look, if you think about fruits, if you lime is a strongish flavor, but not strong enough to stand up to cherry. Blueberry can't even stand up to lime.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You know what I mean?
obvious that the color is a mixture of blueberry and raspberry and cherry. Lime, of course, doesn't really have a great color, but okay, here we go. I'm diving in. I got to taste it now. Whoa! That is definitely sour. I gotta say, I enjoy that.
Alan, you've been suspiciously quiet.
I'm not sure what to say yet. As I was trying to say off the top, I mean, I have nothing against flavored beers, but having a beer that's flavored with blueberry, cherry, and lime seems a little bit much of a stretch. Indeed, the flavors, I'd say the cherry is kind of overpowering everything else. I think I would have.
Can you taste the blueberries?
No, and I can't taste the lime either.
Yeah.
Sours don't really do it for me anymore. But I think they could have.
Yeah, we went through that sour craze.
Yeah.
What?
I think they could have done just fine if they had stuck to the cherry.
I gotta say, it's growing on me, but I'm just looking at their. Oops, sorry.
Without, if I knew nothing about this drink, if I had not looked at the tin, or as I look at the tin, if I drink the drink and ignore the tin, it's sipping's territory. It's not really quaffable, is it?
No. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
And I guess what I'm wondering is if it's in the 4% range. Is 4% kind of what you want in a sipping drink?
What this reminds me of, if Shane, you'll remember when we were at Beer Fest, we tried that, or I tried that blue beer from a local brewery, and I said it tasted like watered down Kool-Aid, like you tried to mix Kool-Aid, but you poured in too much water.
Oh, right, the blue.
Try to make it go further, so it tasted watery. This tastes like cherry Kool-Aid that was mixed with maybe not enough water.
So you're saying it's too flavorful.
Look, I'm starting to wonder if maybe part of the problem here is that it's mid-October. And this, if anything, is a summertime beer.
Yeah.
Yes. I would also comment that according to their website, this is listed under their new stuff.
Yeah.
But the stuff that is at the top of the website is probably newer, mainly because blackberry ale, blackberries, of course, being sort of a July, August, September berry, depending on where you are, which is followed up by the pumpkin pie milkshake IPA, which I'm tempted to try, but I'm just saying that this one is definitely lower on their list of stuff they've added in more recently. So, I gotta say, I don't mind it. I think it's totally fine. I think that they should do it again, but I think they should listen to our wisdom and do the changes that we request.
You know what I would almost like to see them do is use this cherry flavoring and apply it to a stout and make like a Black Forest stout or a Black Forest porter.
Okay. That's not a bad idea. A little chocolate.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
kind of with you there. Now we're moving into December from October, but yeah,
Yes.
no. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I've had a couple of Black Forest beers.
Yeah.
And the cherry flavor just really complements
You know what?
stout and porter.
Here's my suspicion: is that part of the reason the cherry flavor is as nuanced as it is actually because they added a little bit of lime and a little bit of blueberry.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because it's a good cherry flavor. It's peak cherry if you wanted cherry flavor. Except that part of that, in order to get there, they could have cheated and they called it cherry and they in the ingredients list on the back added that there's maybe we used a little bit of lime juice because lime juice is commercially available, and maybe we used some blueberries because blueberries are local, right? Because they are in Saskatchewan.
This beer is from Surrey.
I'm starting to see this picture a little differently, and it's a picture that I like. You know,
this beer is from Surrey, by the way.
Oh, it's from Surrey. Oh well, in that case, sorry about that. Yeah. Russell Brewery. Yeah, right. Surrey Brewery. Okay, fuck. There you go.
Well, all the Saskatchewan brews are done. We're finished.
By the way,
Yeah, we did 5 weeks of that.
Tasted of lavender, and I thought it was fucking excellent.
Nice.
Cool.
So,
I give this one a thumbs up. I like it. I don't know if I'd go out and get it again necessarily. Sours aren't really my bag anymore.
We'll put it this way: if you did go out and get it again, you need to get some alcohol to mix it with.
This is true. I mean, we are quite as individuals on the show, we are quite critical off and on. I think in terms of
if it's a sipping
alcohol
drink,
by volume rating. So tell us what the Crafty Boys' attitude is in regards to alcohol by volume. Locke, go.
Oh, look, I'm all about the idea that low alcohol stuff can be good in the right context. If we're talking about, say, Red Stripe, what we're talking about is effectively it's pickled water. It's refreshing, and you're not going to catch anything from it. In the tropics, there's a whole different use case for beer. In a northern climate, you start to get things like your imperial stouts, your Baltic imperial stouts, let's call them for politics' sake. For history's sake, let's call them what they are. They're Russian imperial stouts. They were imported. It was an imported style, modified by the Russians. It was Elizabeth the Great, Empress of Russia, had a penchant for English, and nobody would have used the term at the time, but broadly British beers. And one of them was the stout. And what they did with it in St. Petersburg was they turned it into a monster. Because in St. Petersburg, they drink vodka like water. So the idea that they wanted something like an Irish stout, but something for people that drink vodka all the time, and so the Baltic Imperial Stout or the Russian Imperial Stout was born. That said, alcohol, drink too much of it and it'll fucking kill you. There you go. Alan.
Well, you know what? It's kind of true. I don't mind these lower alcohol beers if they taste okay. One thing I've found, I mean, I'm getting a bit older now, as we all are, and I found that like after like a couple of beers, my heart rate starts to go up, and yeah, it's a little bit concerning. So I mean, it could be the alcohol that's causing that, right? So a few selections of lower alcohol content. I'm welcoming to that, so I don't die.
It'd be liver cancer that I'd be worried about, but
yes, yeah.
there are
All right, so
concerns that you want to pay attention to.
At the time of drinking alcohol, it can cause a temporary increase in heart rate and blood pressure.
Okay.
In the long term, drinking above the guidelines of most recommendations, like don't drink till you're toast every day, is that you could have damage done to your a weakened heart muscle. So basically, moderation is a good thing, just like everyone says. So don't
bit of cardio
don't be an idiot. But there's definitely going to be some of those things that could happen. So apparently, totally normal.
Yeah. All right.
I know.
So let's talk about the world today. What's going on in the world?
Sure. Hey, what's going
I
on?
actually have no idea because I don't get to watch the news anymore. I'm too busy working. What's going on? Is there anything happening? Obviously, we solved climate change, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Poverty is gone.
Poverty's been erased.
Dogs and cats can now communicate with each other, but it's in Swahili.
Oh, they've always been able to communicate with each other. It's just that
in Swahili,
mostly by biting. Yeah, in Swahili, that's different. Yeah, that's interesting. How'd they do that?
Well, what basically has been in the news today, just because I happened to glance at the news this morning, is the new premier of Alberta is crazy.
Really? As compared to Kenny? Fuck.
They're threatening to stop.
Huh?
Well, apparently they're threatening to stop oil supply to Canada because reasons. Basically they've elected a conspiracy theorist crazy person. I've forgotten her name.
Her name.
But let me.
Okay. Yeah.
Hang on. Premier of Alberta.
She made a claim yesterday. She made a claim yesterday that
the unvaccinated are the most discriminated against group.
People, like ever.
Yeah.
So she's one of those.
They're like, oh, those poor fucking anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Even Jason Kenney said populism sucks. It's not conservatism. It's just stupid bullshit, which is a lot.
Of course, Alberta would elect that person. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, so Danielle Smith is her name, and it sounds like she is having to walk back a lot of the stuff that she got elected on, because I suppose smarter people with a dose of common sense probably told her she's...
They're like, you can think that, you can't say that.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, the reality is that she can't do what she thinks she... Here's the thing that I've noticed.
Okay, I actually have no idea what's going on in Alberta right now, in spite of the fact that I'm part Albertan.
Well, not much aside from the election lately.
Okay, but yeah, but what the fuck is she being saying? Like what? Like I don't even have any context. Like what? I genuinely have no idea who this fucking person is, or even what party she belongs to. Is she a wild roser?
Well, I'll tell you. I'll look her up.
Hmm.
Danielle Smith, Premier of Alberta, is she's 51. She is who is she? Who are you? 19th Premier of Alberta. What party is she a member of? What party is this? Is there a party? Canadian politician and journalist. Blah blah blah. Elected
Oh,
on the
of course, she's a
11th
fucking journalist. That
of
is
the United Conservative Party. So the I don't know who the United Conservative Party is.
Oh,
Conservative political party
so
established in 2017 as a merger between the PCA and Wild Rose. So there you go. So she's probably a Wild Roser if you want to.
Yeah, that
Use
sounds
that.
about right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So yeah, she's basically. I mean, it's this weird thing that we keep seeing now. We've been seeing for a while. Let's pick 2016 maybe as the starting point, where the opinions of people must automatically become fact just because they're politicians, not morons. Like, for example, the governor of, I gather, Florida, a couple weeks ago sent a bunch of migrants on a plane to Martha's Vineyard with a fake brochure, or a brochure that apparently they created to lure these migrants to go to Martha's Vineyard, explaining that they would have all these services available to them, which of course do not exist on the island. And
Sorry,
at the end, it turned
on an island.
Martha's Vineyard is an island, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the name of the island.
They should probably call it
Correct.
Martha's Island then.
You'd think so.
It would eliminate a whole.
All I
lot.
know about it is that Jaws was filmed there. But anyway, and that the president has a place there. Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, but the whole point of this whole thing is that DeSantis, who's I guess the governor there, was trying to make a point about Florida being flooded with migrants from Mexico, which then even he admitted was actually not really true, because it turned out the migrants that they flew to Martha's Vineyard actually came from Texas. And
he imported
now of course, so apparently this was ordered and planned by his office.
The Commerce Clause in the U.S. is supposed to regulate that shit.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, is that now that these people have been taken there, and they of course are being taken to somewhere else, wherever the hell that is. But the thing is that now the implication is that the governor, who was involved in the planning of this whole stunt, could actually now be charged with moving migrants, illegal aliens, in the country across state borders. So in theory,
he was trafficking them.
so he's now a trafficker. So his little stunt might actually explode. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll just go unnoticed. But really, I think if somebody actually, yeah. However, all of this talk about conservative, batshit crazy stuff, I haven't read this entirely because it's a bit long, and I don't pay for the National Post. But Rex Murphy, who's been in a reporter / commentator, whatever, for politics in Canada for a million years, thinks that
he might. For those who don't know, he happened before being charismatic was a thing on TV.
Yes, exactly. So, but he believes that because Ottawa apparently has stated that her comments go against against Confederation, blah 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 blah. She's nuts. However, he believes that this encounter, like this experience for Canadians, could actually save the democracy in our country. Or sorry, what did he say? He said could say she isn't threatening Confederation. She could be saving Confederation. The only thing I can find wrong about the new Alberta Premier's approach is how long it took to be undertaken. So,
Yeah, but Rex
is this going to
Murphy,
save our country? Not that our
he's
country needs saving, as far as I'm aware.
That's about the kind of detail you expect from Rex Murphy, isn't it? Like
he's been off his rocker for
what
a
do you
number.
mean? Fuck.
Like that guy needs to
yeah.
retire.
Well, here's the thing: is I think he's partially, as far as I know, Rex Murphy is partially retired because he ran this thing called Cross Country Checkup on CBC for like 70 years.
Mid-career.
What?
He was partially retired when he was in mid-career.
Okay, I'm purely going on his age. Like he's like in his mid-70s, right?
He's not in his mid-70s. I mean, that guy's
Rex
probably
Murphy.
like
Rex Murphy's ancient.
157.
He's
He's
not 50.
157.
He's sounding and looking ancient. I don't know that he actually is.
His best friend when he was a little kid was Mr.
Okay,
Burns from The Simpsons.
I'll look him up. Here we go. Rex Murphy is 75 years old.
No way. I call shenanigans on that.
That he's 75. He's really something. Julian, please tell us, what is your opinion of Rex Murphy?
Okay, here we go. One concert to another.
And by the way, Julian, this beer is the Russell Brewing Blueberry Cherry Lime Berliner. It is a fruity beer with a low alcohol content. I'm really sorry. I apologize. Alan chose this beer.
Oh no, I did
with
not.
it.
I did not.
And Locke doesn't have it at all. There was no planning on mailing this beer.
This guy.
The Peanut Gallery chose this beer, by the way. Yes, that's actually true.
There we go.
She thought it would be interesting.
She's
so,
like, look at the pretty colors on the label. It's pink and blue and green.
It's so true. But
I mean, Rex Murphy, getting back to him, I mean, doesn't he like sleep probably like in a coffin or something? Like during the day, he only comes out at night.
To be honest, think that's probably
The only
true.
way to kill him is to drive a stake through his heart. I'm pretty sure.
He's like the energy vampire on fucking What We Do in the Shadows.
It's like a cross between a vampire and a Decepticon that steals energon cubes.
Sorry, no, you lost me there.
Yeah, steals energon. Okay, no, sorry, it took me a moment. Yes, I understand now. But God, it's been so long since I've seen that show. I kind of want to watch it now, even though I know how dumb it is.
Drifts. I'm not quite catching what they mean.
I don't know. I'm kind of like talking.
Not important.
Here,
So basically, in the news for this week, just to keep you informed, is that's probably the biggest news, Canadian news specifically. Yeah. Now, of course, there's a big stink about the problem with the Emergencies Act having been used on the convoy in Ontario earlier in the year.
Sorry.
Sorry?
Well, the problem was the
problem is some people have too much time on their hands. Is the problem.
Yeah, I suppose it is. Totally
the problem is that it's not appropriate to confuse parking regulations with constitutional issues.
True. That is very, very true.
The other big story today is that was it that dude down south of the border, the InfoWars guy, has to pay close to $1 billion.
Whoa! Wait, Alex Jones has to pay $1 billion?
It's close to it's like 987
100 million or whatever. Fuck.
Alex Jones ordered to pay $1 billion to Sandy Hook $965 million in damages.
No. This must have been a jury trial, yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah. So what's going to happen next is the judge will knock that down substantially because juries are allowed to say what they want, and then the judge goes, well, but you know.
Well, I mean that's actually not. That's actually most likely the case, of course, because the one thing that happened is when this trial started, he declared bankruptcy, or his company declared bankruptcy. Basically, everyone connected to him filed for bankruptcy. Which to me sort of means that yeah, pretty much. So I highly doubt that they'll get anything for that matter. But I do recall like a couple times where I was watching a bit of the coverage and the judge did not like him. Because
I think it would
several things
I
happened.
can't imagine
it astonishes me to the present day that there are people out there that do like him.
Well, this is the thing is that, hey, what's his face?
Okay, I don't mind gun rights, but those are the kind of people I would shoot.
Well, here's the thing is that I would like to treat Alex Jones with a bit of humanity, no matter how fucking crazy he appears to be. But at the same time, the reason that the judge didn't like him was not because of who he was because of the fact that he was caught lying like several times on the stand. Because he would say something stupid, and then the prosecution would be like, here is what you wrote about the thing you just told us you never did. And you actually detailed it here really because the defense, apparently at the beginning, the prosecution requested information specifically about whatever it is they're looking for. And then the prosecution actually, the defense actually sent them, instead of what they asked for, they sent them everything. So there was a bunch of information that the defense didn't realize, that the prosecution didn't realize they were going to receive. So they had, for example, I think the big one was they wanted
to do a barium in paper, and released the wrong paper.
They gave them more than they requested, so therefore, if they tried to bury them in paper, it totally didn't work. But I think the big one, the thing that got the most coverage was his. They wanted records of his cell phone, like what text did he send on certain days and all these kinds of things, like specific days when they know that there might be incriminating evidence for it, and they sent the entire phone to the prosecution. So the prosecution was like, well, we only wanted like day 5 through 10, and we have now day 5 through 800. So therefore, we have far more information than, and they said that your lawyers really screwed up. They sent us more than we requested, and the information that they sent us that was additional has far more damning information in it than we thought. So, so that kind of shit. Even though like he was apparently lying, So anyway, he was a twerp. But he's the king of all of this Fox News stuff, where like this whole, my opinion therefore is fact, is really unfortunate because it's not
fake news.
Yeah, the fake news thing has really exploded to such a degree. Although, it's been around forever.
I disagree with it, so it's fake.
Yeah. Which, actually right now, I guess the sort of the big thing, the election in Brazil is in, I think it's second round this week or at the end of the month or something. And that's basically all the crazy people that were being interviewed on the street right before the election were just, if he doesn't win, there's therefore equals corruption or, fake, there's something wrong with the way we do elections and stuff.
Look, there's democracy and then there's force. And might not be right, but might is might, and I think the phrase is surely that's enough.
Well, and the problem,
And the question is, are they as mighty as they think they are? They think.
Well, this is the problem.
We can insist. We can insist. There's so many of us. You're fats. I don't care. I think they're wrong, and I don't care if they're right. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And
well, this is the problem in Brazil is that
you've got right like.
Well, the problem in Brazil is that they have a military that sounds like they're pretty willing to support the crazy man who wants to be voted in again.
Well, they're the military. That kind of crazy man. What is he? The kind of guy who's going to spend on the military? Sure, he is. Yeah,
of course he's going. Yeah, exactly. So
that's self-interest at work.
But I'm trying to think of what other stuff you might have missed. Probably more importantly is that we had a hurricane.
There was
that came through. Did you and try and
there was even bad weather in Toronto. I've not heard
some of that,
but like it was sort of like unseasonal.
But the East Coast got hammered with lots of people out of power and all that kind of stuff. And are we bothering you, Alan? Do you want to go and continue? I was going to ask you a question, but you're like,
from God.
Bueller.
Oh, really? What did it say?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say.
But I can imagine. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely. And let me check my phone to see if he sent one to me too.
All right, I'll read it.
No,
nothing from him.
Alan's the popular one.
All right, so it's a bit
but anyway
of a thing.
Are you going to go to it?
Yeah, I'm gonna
hold your phone up to the camera.
Okay, so it's a picture of a guy sitting with that looks like it's a sex doll of some kind.
Okay.
And it says, when a woman gets a vibrator, it's seen as a bit of naughty fun. But when a man orders a 240 volt Fuckmaster Pro 5000 blow up latex doll, speed pulsating. It lasts anyway, it lists off a whole bunch of features of this thing in explicit detail.
Oh, that's
So
that's okay. I can imagine. I gotta say though, I stand by what I've said before.
Now I'm actually kind of curious.
www.
I've never, right?
Well, okay. Here's this was actually in the news, probably about 4 or 5 months ago, where they were talking about, and the only reason that it became a thing in the news was that AI is being installed. Like they're basically creating AI to run sex dolls. So like for quite some time,
go wrong.
when sex dolls became a thing, they started being used specifically in brothels in the UK as a test thing. So instead of people coming to have sex with other human beings, they could elect to have sex with a sex doll.
Okay, but here's an important question. How would they be able to differentiate that from an art installation?
Because they go to a brothel? These are brothels with the dolls.
Yeah. And that.
Well, actually, it could be considered an art installation because when the coverage was big, I think it's probably like late last year. They were talking about how.
Soho, right?
Sorry?
Is this in Soho?
Well, it was in London. I don't remember exactly, but it was in London.
If it's in London, I'm guessing
they had this thing where you could request what you wanted the doll to be dressed in, whether you wanted the doll on the bed or in a chair or whatever when you arrived, and then whatever other sort of get up sort of mood enhancing whatever's they wanted, because they're trying to basically reduce the time or the number of people that get attacked in these sorts of situations. So, crazy person shows up, pays their money, but then does stupid stuff with the human being on the other end. So, so they're offering the doll as an extra service. So, but anyway, the part of the story was about a company, one of them being in Canada, that are building sex dolls.
Okay.
To have artificial intelligence in them, so that they can speak, so that and move their head. I think it's pretty much the limit, but so they have these large dolls with this AI head thing that tells you how big your penis is or whatever. But anyway, I'm just saying that this is a thing. And it proves to me that when we create holodecks in the future, our species is done. Everyone will want a holodeck. We'll all disappear into the holodeck, and our species will be finished because we'll all end up aging out and dying in the holodeck. So basically, future archaeologists, alien archaeologists, will show up on Earth,
Look,
20 million years from now, and be like, "Wow, this race was pretty advanced, except for all these metal boxes connected to these cables that are everywhere." Like we're talking like there's 8 billion of these things on the surface of the planet.
I will just make this broad observation that statistically, it seems that most people have imaginations such that they can imagine what they need to imagine when they're doing certain things by watching as little as moving pictures on a screen. What kind of lack of imagination do you have to be facing in order to require a plastic facsimile that speaks?
And
Something else
moves a little bit.
Like I mean, look, I admit I played with GI Joes. Those are a type of doll. I mean, they were action figures when I was a kid, but they're a type of doll. So were Transformers, realistically, except they're also a toy car, which is more macho.
But not Star Wars toys. Those were action figures, not dolls.
Yes, and that proved all kinds of manliness on every kind of level.
Except an action figure really is just a word that you use to mean doll, right?
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Well, look, I mean,
Did I tell you that a few months ago I almost murdered my dog?
I mean, there are all kinds of ways that the macho-ness of Western European military culture has dealt with how it is that we play with dolls, but it's macho and it's different. It's not like playing with dolls.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? We've been doing that for centuries. So let's not worry about any of that, because all of that's fine. What we need to worry about is when we want to fuck those dolls and to the tune of, I need a life-size facsimile in silicon that can talk at me. Why?
What's the thing? Like, what? Every single depiction of androids in fiction in the last, say, 20 odd years have always ended up having to, well, I would say 99% of them, humanoid android types, not like droid things, always do end up with some sort of sexual thing going on to them. Like the film, oh my lord, I can't remember the name of it now.
There are balls.
Well, actually, Steven Spielberg's film AI.
Yeah, like everything's sexual.
Sex bots. So I mean, it's going to happen whether we want to or not. There's going to be a contingent of the human race from all over the globe that's going to think that having sex with some inanimate refrigerator
and if it were only a prop for a type of porn, I would thoroughly approve and probably watch.
Oh, I'm sure that's happened already.
Sort of. It's kinky.
So well, and this is the thing, right? Is that we are going to have a. We're literally screwing our future.
Species screwed up.
Yeah, exactly. So eventually it's going to be a situation where, if you're not treating your AI right, it's not going to murder it's going to murder you in your sleep. There's actually a film coming out called Megan, I think, or yeah, Megan, I think, that I just saw the trailer for yesterday, where it's an android child that's basically befriending another child, and this doll slash whatever you want to call it, of course, goes on a killing rampage, for reasons, and but the different thing about it is that the doll, of course, is completely emotionless. Like the actor who's wearing whatever this face is like doing dances and like being, dancing like a kid would dance while wielding a bloody hatchet because they've just murdered 10 people, which it did amuse me. And I will have to watch this film. But, so that's kind of how these things go. Because the child, this android child, was told to behave, and it decided that that was a threat, and therefore everyone should die. I long for my holodeck. Locke will be at least 15 feet tall, and Alan will have hair.
Ooh. On top of my head?
Yes.
Oh, good. Good. Have to make that distinction.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, on that note, I think we should pack it in because Locke is in a different time zone.
Yeah.
But thank you all for watching. We had a few people watching today. But of course, you can check us out again. We have all the stuff down in the thing below. And we will see you next week, where we drink actually another beer I think I mailed to Locke, which I'll have to tell Alan about. And so hopefully he can find it.
Which one is that?
There's, I think, 2 more, maybe 1 more. I don't
Yeah.
remember. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you. Blah blah blah. How do I turn this thing off?